Hello to the amazing people, TheNeomare here, and welcome to another episode of Citizen Sleeper, a futuristic, dystopian, tactical, basically a turn-based game. Like every day you get 5 dice, which you then use on various locations on the station called the Eye. You can find the full playlist in the comment description below the video. Well, it's quite a nice and chill game right now, but it can be a little bit tense if... if you got a timed mission which you need to complete and do lots of stuff with your dice before something bad happens. So, relatively recently we got some hard decisions. Let me just check out my character here. I have 3 upgrade points. I think I'm gonna wait a little bit more before I upgrade another ability. I'm quite heavily leveled up, so things are pretty good. As long as we don't get super crappy luck with the dice, it should be more than fine. So yeah, in 2 cycles, or well, 2 days, Ash wants to make the run to the flotilla. I'm playing episode 2 right now of the game, and this is the flotilla, like assortment of ships that visited the Eye, the rotating station here that we're on, and I want to break the barricade and bring fuel, water and supplies to them. Yet the officials of the station, they are not too happy with it because we are having limited resources. So any resources we give to the flotilla, it's not left for us. It's one of those like tensed up situations that we can't help much with. So we had 3 missions here that they completed, filled up that, filled up that. So basically here we provided them resources, and it was all going so well. I was like helping them and they were all nice and ready to go and do the run, and then they got contacted by the cabinet officer saying, please don't do it, this is a really bad idea. And I'm like, what do I do? But anyway, so here we have our farm where we grow fungi, and I think I'm gonna go and I'll scavenge for some scrap. Seems like there's nothing else to do right now but to go and wait for the the thing to resolve itself, and then we're probably gonna have to make some hard decisions. Scrap, I need to heal my character between days, keep our body nice and operational. We are actually a sort of a robot, let's call it like that, like a sleeper, a human mind, conscious mind controlling a body that used to belong to a corporation, but we escaped from it, and yeah, now we are kind of free, but we decided to stay on this station to help out its denizens. So here we can do perk self-repair. With some careful engineering you can patch up your damaged body with scrap components. The results isn't pretty, no, it's good enough, because that will keep our body in nice shape. So if your shape becomes too low, then you're gonna start getting less dice per day, which is like super bad. So also I'm gonna feed the kitty cats here and then end the cycle, and yeah. And the new day comes and we're starving. We need to go get some food, so we're gonna go to our favorite food supplier here, Mr. Emphys Spiced Fungi, and I'm gonna give him some cash. He's giving us very nice discount. When you start the game, this is way more pricey and you struggle way more with these kinds of things. But now we're kind of rich and everything's fine, and it seems like, yeah, it seems like there's still nothing to do. So just gonna do another day and then we're gonna see what happens here. So like in 1 day, Ash is gonna want to do a run, and then we're gonna have to decide to go for it or not. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I've worked so much to help them out, and now it seems like the right call is to like talk them into not doing anything rash. Yeah, really not sure. I can reroll these once, so we're gonna do that. So these kind of dangerous actions, if you put low numbered dice in, there's a chance to get a negative result, which are often quite bad for your body, for your like hunger bar, and then sometimes for even some worse things. So I would definitely recommend to check out this game on the start at least. It's pretty nice and tight. At this point, I'm just like gonna finish it for the story though. I don't feel much pressure anymore, like challenge-wise, but well, you never know. We'll never know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm super rich, have all kinds of resources I can use. For example, I just extracted one data item, which I can go here to the tea house and sell it for 20 cash. I have plenty of these, so if I ever need a lot of money, I can come here and sell a whole bunch of these. And yeah, so here we sell Heaven Age data, and there's another data where you can sell the other type of data, the Yatagan data. Heaven Age is like the security force, and the Yatagan is like almost like a mafia, really, something like that. Anyway, gonna input another scrap, patch yourself up, end the cycle, and then we're gonna get a story progression probably. Look at these dice though. Woohoo! She's gone, Sleeper. Peak is breathless and shaking. She started the run without us. Esche? Peak looks confused. Who else? Let's go. If we head to the cordon now. Peak starts back up the corridor. They turn back. She has to make it, Sleeper. She has to. A shiver runs down your spine. Esche, I hope you know what you're doing. Oh, she didn't believe us. And her instincts were correct. Because I did indeed plan to try to stop her doing the run. I mean, we had 3 days. We should have done that before, but okay. The cordon, Heaven Age quarantine. You arrive, frantic and anxious at the cordon. Peak is nowhere to be seen. Then you hear footsteps hammering on the metal stairway Helene's drone led you through before, the one that leads up to the observation deck. You leap up the stairs two at a time and make it to the top, momentarily blinded by the light pouring into the observation deck. Sleeper, Peak emerges from the light. I know she's trying to protect me, but... It's okay, she chose. What was she thinking? She was always planning this, I know it. They turn away. How could I have not seen it coming? There she is. Peak rushes to the white window, leaning forward to catch a glimpse of the Climbing Briar's blue XPR livery against the black of the void. XPR, that's the Climbing Briar is the ship they use, which they try to use to break the quarantine. You spot the Climbing Briar, a glint of blue and white, and beside it the red glare of a tuck's lights. The tuck crew went with her. Peak smiles. I knew they'd keep their word. That will help. Peak doesn't seem to hear you, but the idea of the crew backing Asha up, making you smile, maybe this thing will work. Well, Heaven Age will not be happy. You watch as the Briar and its tuck escort arc down towards the edge of the cordon, demarcated by the red lights of the perimeter system. So far so good. The Briar will just look like another refugee ship being escorted into the cordon, at least at a glance. Peak grips the rail as Asha reaches the edge of the cordon, that invisible net of sensors splayed between ships and drones. Now let's hope the blind spot triggered. You think back to the mess of systems you had to wade through to set it up. The delicate contingencies you set up to trigger the sensor blackout at just the right moment. Without noise, without ceremony, the Briar slides through the cordon. You await the flickering of alarm lights, the swarming of drones, but nothing. Just another cycle, just another ship. Ashes in. Both you and Peak let out the breath you've been holding and laugh. How did she do it? Peak smiles, shaking their head. We did it. Yes, we did. Peak smiles wider. Yes, we did. They laugh. You feel a little shaky from the tension, but Peak's ease helps you settle. You imagine Ash, steely-eyed, in the pilot seat of the Briar, searching for a place to dock. Maybe being stubborn has its advantages. What now? Now she finds a place to dock and unload as quietly as possible. They look out at the flotilla, and then she gets the hell out of there. You and Peak turn back to the window, looking for the Briar again amongst all those hulls, the calm fading as new worries settle in. You spot the Briar first this time, docking with the largest of the flotilla's ships, a vast converted tanker, half of its protective plates removed. You think about the effort it must have taken to get that thing all the way here from the inner system. You watch the Briar, unable to get any sense of progress from its placid exterior. They will be offloading everything now, Peak says, both assuring you and themselves that everything is going to plan. You think of all the supplies loaded onto the Briar and how long the process of unloading might take. The bay was packed, rammed with everything you could offer, and the thought of bringing all that to the flotilla makes you smile. You think of the reaction of the refugees, of the welcome they'll give Ashe as the bearer of such gifts. You even imagine a smile from Ashe as she's showered with thanks. You focus on that as you watch the briar and continue the nervous wait for it to finish unloading. It's breaking off, Peak points at the briar, and you see the puff of air and dust that accompanies an emergency depressurization. Ashe must have ended things early, but why? Then you see them, the tugs closing in on the briar. Heavenage must have spotted the ship. You and the Peak are up against the window again, willing the briar a safe path out of the flotilla. Suddenly the briar shifts in space, a blue blur between two hulls. Peak whistles. Look at that, they smile at you. Looks like those upgrades we put together work. You watch as Ashe cuts through the crowded flotilla, the tugs not daring to follow her dangerous path and peeling away. It is hard to keep track of the briar, and suddenly both you and Peak are searching the black for a sign. Where has she gone? Then all of a sudden she is out, blue against the black, pulling away from the cordon on a wide arc back towards the station. A clean run. Peak cheers and smiles at you. We did it, she's out. They beam uncontrollably at you, the tension released. You find yourself smiling too, smiling at these two beautiful idiots and their beautiful ship. Then Peak is hugging you, squeezing you with all the nervous energy that had been building. Thank you, Sleeper. We did this together. They step back, still smiling. We did something. Come on, they rush out of the observation deck. Let's meet her. We got an upgrade point, well that's great. Well, I didn't think that everything is gonna go so nice and smooth, even though we did do a lot of nice preparations. So now we have 4 upgrade points. It costs 3 upgrade points to level up something to max. I was waiting to level these up once I'm pretty sure what I actually need. So I think I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. You and the Peak rush into the briar, finding yourself in the now empty bay. The change is a reminder of what you achieved, and looking around you feel all the more satisfied. A hiss sounds at the far end of the bay and Ashe enters looking exhausted. Peak runs up to embrace her, but she sits down at the bay floor before reaching her. You did it! They sit beside her. Ashe, you were incredible! She smiles a small smile at this, laying her head on Peak's shoulder. You suddenly feel like you're intruding, seeing the two of them like this, quiet and content. Sleeper, Peak calls, come on over. You cross the bay and sit beside them on the hard metal floor. Ashe, Peak asks, did you give the flotilla our chairs? They both burst out laughing at the ridiculousness of it all, at the exhaustion and the worry and everything else. You laugh too, it's impossible not to, and after a while you all come to a stop, Peak wiping their eyes and Ashe shaking her head. You would have loved to see it, Sleeper, Ashe says quietly. The welcome I got. They came to greet the ship once it docked to offload the supplies. I told them I was coming, of course, as soon as I got inside the cordon, but there were so many. Children, families, they were smiling at me, shaking my hand. Sol was there too, Peak, and she's just gruff as... And he's just as gruff as he sounds over comms. She smiles. They took it all, crate after crate, until the ship was emptied out. Ashe looks away. But there were so many, and even with everything we managed to bring, they needed more. They made me promise I would try to come back. Ashe, Peak shakes their head. You know we can't do that twice. Ashe stands up. What are we supposed to do? Wait for them to leave the quarantine? She's angry again, that familiar tension rising in her voice. Peak tries to pull her back down. Sit, Ashe, rest. You have done enough for today. Don't, Peak. I know my limits. Ashe hardens. Okay, well, seeing as they didn't catch you, perhaps they will lift it. They know the flotilla poses no danger now, and if they can account for the extra load on the life support. Ashe walks away towards the ladder that leads up into the upper part of the ship. I need to rest, Peak. She holds up a hand. Sleeper. Then she limps up the ladder, step by painful step. I'm afraid if you're expecting a change in Ep29, Peak smiles at you. It's okay, let her rest. Peak nods. I think I need some time to rest too. They put a hand on your shoulder and get up from the floor. We couldn't have done this without you, Sleeper, and I know those in the flotilla would thank you too. Thank you. Peak limps up the ladder too, leaving you alone on the metal floor of the bay. Your thoughts drift to all those people on the flotilla, sleeping and sitting on metal floors like this, children, families, playing in cargo bays and repurposed fuel tanks. You know their story isn't over yet, and you look forward to meeting them. The quarantine will lift. You feel more sure of this fact every moment, even though you aren't sure why. You lie back on the metal and stare at the ceiling. What was it Fang told you? Erlin said. The eye opens for us all? Maybe the old guy was right. A home for the lost. You like the idea of that, you like the idea of that. Maybe in time you can help make that reality. But something is bothering you, a sliver of a thought like a splinter you can't extract. Why are thousands of refugees coming here now? People don't abandon their hopes for nothing. What wave is rushing through the system, and when will it reach the eye? You shudder on the cold metal floor and get up. Something is coming, you can feel it, this isn't over. Right. The Cordon, Heaven Quarantine. Episode Flux complete. The first part of Flotilla's story is complete. Episode Refuge begins when the cycle clock below is filled. Good luck. The Gathering Storm. What's done is done. Now all you can do is wait to see what happens next. Right, so I finished the episode Flux. Nice. So, was pretty not too long. Nice and sweet, I wanna say. So yeah, if you watched a couple of episodes before this one, you saw me like gather the food and water and preparing everything so she can do the run properly and everything goes fine. And now now the episode is complete, and after 3 more days a new episode will start. So I think at this point there's not much else to do but just gather materials and prepare for that. So exactly that what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna start by getting more scrap, and then these ones and twos can't really do much good with those, so those I usually just use to go and hack and collect Heavenage and Yatanga data. So here, so these agents, they're ideal because you can like bypass them and extract data. Now of course this wasn't always as simple as that. There was like an entity trying to like track us down and kill us, and well we dealt with it. So now as a reward we can come here and get these datas which fetch a really good money. So yeah, I guess we'll just do that for a couple of days here. Let's get some food. I did expect for Heavenage to like interfere a little bit more wildly. These are their offices. I also kind of expected I'm gonna like communicate with them, try to help them figure the things out, but I guess not. I guess this will be the second episode. Anyhow, let's fix our suit and feed the cat, go to sleep, and I'm gonna do that 2 more times. I'm gonna see what lies ahead in the next episode. Rise and shine! Another cycle or morning or whatever they call it on this station is here. Let's start by doing all the necessities before I do anything else. Feeding the stray probably doesn't do anything, but I feel like a nice person feeding the kitty cat, so that's pretty nice. Still doesn't seem like there's anything to do. There's various places around the stations where I don't have any quests anymore, but oh, the food is done. So here I can go and collect the fruits of my labor. I'll do exactly that. So basically at this place I plant spores, and then we gather mushrooms. Food's kind of important. We can sell it and use it for various things. Then we put some spores in to like get the next harvest started. But yeah, there's many places on the station where I finished quests and now have very good job opportunities at those places, and various places where you can fill up your energy, usually by eating and stuff. Okay, 2 turned into a 3. Let's see, can I go here? This is kind of dangerous. Forage for fungus. No, I need to collect spores. It's risky, we might lose some energy, but that's okay. Okay, we got some spores, nice. But yeah, there's many places where I can eat, but I prefer Fungus Bar here. And he was just such a nice and chill person. I did some quests for him, so now he offers us some really nice fungus at best prices. I think. And I'm like talking all about efficiency here, but then I waste money on the stray cats. It is what it is. Okay. Alright, gonna fix ourselves again. Get some crackers for the cats. Okay. Okay. So in like 1 to 3 days, we're gonna be able to harvest the mushrooms again, and then, well, in 1 day the episode starts. So I'll just go through it. I'm gonna grab some more scrap, I think. Okay, let's reload this. Let's see what we get. So scrap, let's do 1 more scrap. I'm gonna go grab some spores, maybe a little bit of hacking. I would not like my money to drop way too low here. I wonder if the game's gonna throw some wrenches in our plans. Kind of half expecting that something weird will happen at some point. How many do we get? 2. We get 2 if it's like a positive solution. Last time we got only 1 because it was neutral. Okay, we could get a negative with this one, so let's not gamble here. Yeah, let's be responsible. We need to have an agent. You cannot use a 2 on a yet again agent. There we go, good. Time to sleep again. No, I don't need to do that. Okay. And now we find out what the next episode is and what do we need to do. A new challenge awaits. Let's not forget to feed the cats though. And repair our body. There we go. There's another way to repair the body by injecting stabilizers. And there's a way to like get energy by sunbathing here. It hits you like a wave, the eye, a station on the edge, a white-edged breaker rearing inland with the force of the entire ocean. The impact is screaming brightness, blanking out everything behind it. It is a silence. You float in silence, suspended. No, you do not float, you are the silence. It has filled you up. It has emptied you out. You cease to exist. Time passes though, you do not feel it passing. Then something flickers in the silence, and then something moves. That something is you. You open your eyes to a metal ceiling of flickering light. You feel the floor around you, patting it with shaking hands. You assemble an image of yourself lying on your back in a corridor. You shake off the silence and sit up. What was that? You glance around, looking for a sign of some change. Damage on the walls shouts in the distance, fire and fear. Nothing has changed. The silence sits around you like a fog. You try to think, furrowing your brow. How do you think again? It doesn't seem so easy anymore. You force the pathways to light up, the data banks to grant access. You feel like a fraction drive starting up after a long shutdown in cold vacuum. In the wave. In the wave was noise, just as the sound produced by a wave raking across a pebble beach represents trillions of impacts heard as a single roar. So this sound was the result of a trillions of electrons flickering in place heard as a single impossible scream. A memory image comes to you, one from the moments before the wave hit. You squint as you imagine it, trying to cohere its blurry form, a broken skeletal ring, the eye, and then a vast arc approaching it, a razor-edged white curve, the wave. The wave approaches the eye spins, turning each part to face the vast white edge. You recognize their skeletal data cloud forms. The bright market, the low end, the green wave, the vase, then. The wave just hits as the flotilla the cordon turns to face it, and after that everything is silent. You open your eyes again. That is the epicenter. But of what? Okay, something really weird. Like, I can't really... Like, that was so abstract. Okay, here we have a ship that docked, that sells a ship mind fragment. We can turn this into ship mind and sell for a hefty profit. So, I'm gonna grab some. They're pretty rare, and we might also need them for some quests. So every now and then a ship comes and offers some of these. And this one offers scrap, which we already bought all of it. Why is this red? Okay, because I have selected. Okay, now it's gone. Okay, good. I don't know. Well, I probably have to go to the other side again, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's find out what this next thing is all about. Okay. Peek. Hello, Peek. What's up? Even before you reach the cordon, the damage is obvious. The blinking red lights, the drones, the tugs, all are gone. Half the cordon's frame has also been shorn away, perhaps through the impact of some failing ship. People push past you in the corridor, both Havener staff and contractors clearing the cordon. Push forward. You push through the flow of people, and despite a few suspicious looks, they offer no resistance. The further you pass into the cordon, the less people you see. You can see a few sections have been closed off, their bulkhead doors sealed and red warning lights punctuating the corridors, but otherwise most areas seem functional. Suddenly you feel a hand on your shoulder. Heaven's security? You should have known better than to wander into this place. You brace yourself as you turn. Sleeper! Peek embraces you as you turn. What are you doing here? Did you see the cordon go down? Did Ash speak with you? Peek glances around and you can see they are panicked. Where's Ash? I have no idea. Peek runs a hand through their hair. I was away from the ship, and when I got back she'd taken it and gone. Then I saw the damage to the cordon. Peek looks at you with wild eyes. What if this is some Havenage attempt to clear the flotilla, to scuttle the refugee ships? Oh no, Ash, what did you do? I think she blew up the stuff we saw earlier on the ship. It isn't. Peek pauses. What do you know, Sleeper? Oh no, it's not. Okay. Something hit the station. There was a wave. Something knocked me out. There was a wave. Something hit the station. Peek looks incredulous. Hit? Sleeper with. I'll be that if that was the case. They pause to think. Maybe not an object, but a shockwave. A signal. An EMP would have taken out most of the station, but... Peek runs a hand through their hair. I don't know what you're saying, Sleeper. That doesn't sound... They look away down to the corridor for a moment. Look, I have to find Ash. I'm sure you felt something, but we can talk about that later. They set off down the corridor. I can't sit around talking any longer. Find me on the flotilla. I'm going to find a way to Ash no matter what. With that, they rush away into the depths of the cordon, leaving you behind. Seems like you need to vote if you want to get any answers. The cordon. Heavenage quarantine. Okay. Well, let's get into a bit of trouble then. Scrap for passage. You find a small shuttle scavenging supplies from the cordon to take back to the flotilla. They'll take you to if you bring some scrap along. Sure, why not? I have plenty. Oh, okay. So now we can access the flotilla. Oh, that's kind of cool. Alright. Perk, predictive reasoning. Hull supplies. Getting the necessary flotilla's friend. Shifting ships, systems, and social structures. The only way to navigate the flotilla is by rolling up your sleeves and help out. Damage control. The wave hits systems more than anything, especially those on the ships, so there's 1,000 tiny repair jobs to be done. Hull supplies. Getting the necessary supplies to each ship to meet their needs is a huge task. Joining the hauling ships is the simplest thing you can do to help. So, we have two actions here. Both of them will give us Flotilla's friend reward. One of them is in direction and the other one is in interface action. I'm not super efficient in both of them. I only have +1. However, I do have a lot of very good dice, so at least 5s and 6 I can easily use on these. Oh, this is not good though. Yeah, these are not good. Okay. So I guess I'm gonna have to like... Oh, what's this? Peek. As you walk into the bay of the Climbing Briar, the familiarity of the space overcomes any trepidation. It feels good to be back, and the return feels earned, especially after all the work it took to figure out a route through the flotilla's jumble of ships that might lead you to this blue streak. You see Ash and Peek immediately sitting at the back of the bay, deep in conversation. Their closeness causes you to stop, suddenly aware that you might be interrupting something private. Peek is gesturing wildly as Ash starts out into the middle of the distance, hunched over. As Peek tries to get her attention, she spots you. Sleeper, Ace nods. Incredible work back there, she smiles. Sorry, I couldn't wait for you and Peek, but the moment I saw the cordon go down, I had to get in here. Peek shakes their head, leaping before looking as usual. Peek smiles, but I'm glad we are all reunited. To be honest, Peak adds, I can't believe it. The flux event knocked the entire cordon system offline. The flotilla is free and Heavenage are backing off. Peak smiles at you. You must be our good luck charm. Flux event? That's what the refugees are calling it, Peak explains. Apparently that's what they called it when it started happening around Ember. What exactly is happening? Hard to tell. It's some kind of disruptive wave that only affects electrical systems, Peak chips in. Typically systems are screened against radiation and interference, but this seems to be dulled, but not stopped by those defenses. Basically, the crisis continues, the cordon may be down, but this brings a whole other set of problems, Ash paces away. You should tell them, Ash. Peak glances at her. Please. Ash doesn't respond. Tell you what. You stare at her back, waiting for a response. Please, Ash, haven't they shown they can be trusted? Peak nods towards you. Ash turns, her arms folded tightly across her chest. She goes to start and then stops. You can see the anger in her eyes, but you realize it's not directed at you or at anyone else. She's angry with herself. I brought weapons to the flotilla, she pauses, and now they're gone. You suddenly remember the sleek crates that were tucked into the bay, marked with a yellow sigil, the ones Ash told you were just supplies. What do you mean gone? What do you think? Ash snaps. Someone lifted them from the ship's bay while I was unloading the supplies, she sniffs. At least they're in the hands of the flotilla now. Peak looks at you. She knows this was a bad move, Sleeper, I promise you. They glance back at her. She's just too proud to admit it. Where did you get them from? XPR. Ash gestures around the ship. I wasn't about to leave the colony armed when we escaped. I wouldn't trust them not to use them on us. Big size. I didn't know a thing about them, which is why Ash is going to be the one to find them and bring them back. Shouldn't we help? Ish turns. It's okay, Sleeper. I don't want anyone getting mixed up in this. This is my responsibility. She looks away. Plus, Peak adds, you and I have work to do. I want to understand the flux, Sleeper, to study it. Peak's eyes light up. This thing is changing the entire system, causing problems across the inner systems, driving refugees off the Ember's moons, and now it's here. If you don't do something about it, Peak poses, it's a problem for us, all of us. I can see more immediate problems, Ash sniffs. Peak ignores her. I've been looking at the networks, and when the flux event hit, it changed things. It shuffled systems, corrupted nodes, and broke open data stores. They take out a slate and show you a flickering polygon. Some of these flux nodes have appeared near the epicenter of the event, but I can't get access. You, however, I saw the way you worked with data when we were preparing for the run. I think you can get into these things. I want you to find a flux node and bring me anything you can extract. They come and go, but most can be found in the barely functioning networks of the wastes. Peak pauses. Start there. Perhaps together we can find something that might point us to what the flux is and where it comes from. Alright. They smile. I knew you'd agree. Ash looks indigent. Don't waste too much time chasing Ghost, Sleeper. There are people on this flotilla that need any help they can get. I'm sure Sleeper can do both, Ash. Peak smiles at you. I'll see you here when you have something. Good hunting. And they wave you out as Ash stomps away to make plans of her own. New drive discovered. Now drives are like quests. So you have quests now. Peak wants you to help to study and understand the flux event that occurred on the station. So it's like some kind of wave, like a flux wave they call it. Like an EMP but different. So here we can deliver flux data. Peak asks you to help to extract the data from a node in the wastes, one that appeared after the recent flux events. Okay, and then we have a mission to help the flotilla. That's this one here. And then we can finally hack. So flux node. So this is the thing we can access. Oof. This node flickers in and out. Its position shifting slightly each time. So we need 5s and 6s here. Well, happy times. I could maybe level up my interface. I think it's time. Right now the level up screen is not... Okay, there we go. Available. I'm gonna level up my interface. We have 4 upgrade points. We're gonna be left with 1. So if I'm gonna need my my engage, into it, or endure, well, tough luck, right? Let's go across again. So now we can use the 4s as well. But we don't have any, so... So I'm just gonna use the dice for some money collection here. That's gonna be it. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. I wish you all to have a wonderful day. Do some nice things, be kind to each other, and let's make the world a better place together. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next episode of Citizen Sleeper. TheNeomare signing out. Bye bye.